So we have an excellent project. I think it's going to become a world-class project. Very large porphyry, low-grade porphyry in Namibia, which has no issues, no fatal flaws. It's scalable, it's big, it's low cost, long life, and low risk. So the project has an excellent pedigree. It used to be owned by Rio Tinto, who drilled it in the 1970s, was a low copper price environment. They sold it on to Teck, who sat on it for a long time, did a bit of work, and then eventually it ended up in the hands of a junior who didn't really have good leadership or a good plan or enough money, and so the project basically just kind of fell. Not the project, the company fell into disrepair. We came in 2 years ago after the sale of my former company, took it over, refinanced it, brought in a credible technical team, credible leadership, and so we've taken it in 2 years from about $10 million to about $450 million today. Now, I know all of you will think, oh, you've missed it, but you haven't missed it because it's a much better proposition today because it's been largely de-risked, and we're well on the way to taking this project to much greater heights. It still has a low equity valuation, currently about $450 million, but we have a proven value creation strategy. So when I say we, it's not just me, it's me and my partners. I'm in Namibia, and I should have said that. I'm a mining engineer. I was born there. My family are cattle ranchers there. I guess I'm the black sheep in the family and that I went into mining. But it's been a good career for me, and I've had 2 good successes there. I sold P2 Gold, their mine in Namibia, Chikoto. P2 Gold put me on the map because they turned that into a highly successful gold mine in Namibia. It's $200 million 15 years ago. And then we followed that up with Osino, which I founded. And we made a discovery, various technical studies, ended up selling it for $400 million to the Chinese 2 years ago. And now with Koryx, we're looking to follow that same process. Again, sticking to our core competence, which is identify, acquire, advance, de-risk, permit, get it shovel ready, and then find the right bigger partner to kind of turn it into copper production. Not just me, I've got an excellent team. We truly have a world-class exploration and study team. We are not a mining company, but we have everything that it takes to get this project to the shovel readiness stage. All these people that are working with me have worked for major mining companies. They really know what they're doing, and they know what they're doing specifically in Namibia, where they've done this multiple times. And so it's almost a mechanical process to see through this execution that we're currently busy with. The company, very straightforward, very simple, 120 million shares out. We got about $70 million in cash, a little bit less, about 65. We raised 50 this prior January, 2 weeks, we raised $50 million in January 2026 at $2.45. It was quite a game changer for us because all of a sudden the liquidity of the stock has improved. We're getting a lot more attention. And for you as an investor, it means we very much de-risked from the funding perspective. Ross Petey is still a core shareholder. I was very fortunate in that I met him across the table in a deal room, sold him a company, which I merged into Lumina Gold, and he's been supporting me ever since. And so he's still there, but Teck still owns 5%. They've diluted down a bit, but supportive shareholder. And we're getting quite a lot of interest now from much bigger entities. In this $50 million financings, we had a couple of strategics that wanted to come in a big way. We gave them a little bit to nibble, but not the whole piece. And we've had a good share price performance, largely initially in line with the market, but lately we've outperformed the sort of peer group index. Actually, I'm partial to Namibia. It's an excellent country. It's in Africa, but it doesn't have any of the issues that you normally associate with Africa. So it's got no Kalashnikovs, no Ebola virus, no jungles, no guerrillas, no Islamic terrorists, etc. Very peaceful, excellent mining industry, very easy place to build and operate mines. Population is very supportive of mining. You know, Namibia needs socioeconomic upliftment. People need jobs, and they know that mining is a major provider of jobs. And so very well understood, easy tax code, predictable permitting. So really good place. One of the biggest uranium producers in the world, and also major oil discoveries offshore. So Namibia is going to be the next Guyana. We're a porphyry right down south in the country. As Cho said, one of the oldest porphyries in the world. That has implications. It means the top's been eroded away, so the sort of supergene enrichment sweet stuff is gone. Sulfides only. I think that's the reason it's been on the shelf for so long. But we're bringing it back out in the open, obviously with much higher copper prices. This project will fly. The other implication is it has had multiple phases of deformation, so structural elements to it, which is atypical for porphyries. but it means that there are zones of much higher grades, and we changed the drilling direction. We're hitting some excellent grades in the quest to make this project bigger and better. It's all open pit, so very simple. It's got literally no fatal flaws, no environmental, social, or technical fatal flaws. Got no arsenic pyrites. From a process perspective, mining perspective, very easy. Starts from surface, still open at depth. We're drilling it out at the moment because we're doing a pre-feasibility study, means we have to get it to indicated. So we just haven't had the time to drill at depth, but that's coming. Certainly has very significant growth potential. It's in the south of Namibia, very much a desert environment, highly rugged. Makes it a bit difficult to drill, so we were a bit slow in getting out of the gates, just because it's difficult to get the drill rigs onto the hills. We've got 12 rigs on site at the moment, and 10 excavators and rock pickers to build roads so we can get there. Doing a lot of drilling. We're drilling 50,000 meters. By the middle of the year, we will be 100% indicated, which will enable us to publish the PFS before the end of this year, which will show very good numbers. So our technical strategy is also very simple. It's basically right size and optimize, fix the mistakes that the previous owners have made in terms of choosing the process route, etc. This is a simple milling and flotation operation with a small heap leach for the oxide intermediate zone. Also deliver some upside, bringing in byproducts, moly, gold, try to improve the grade a bit, improve the size, and then of course in parallel with that, permit and de-risk, water, power, tailings dam, all that work. So we've got an army of high-class consultants working on it, led by DRA, who's a high-quality South African engineering group. They built Kamoa for Friedland. They really know what they're doing specifically in flotation. So these are the PEA numbers. So just as a starting point, after we took over, we put out a PEA to demonstrate technical and economic feasibility. Excellent numbers, $1.5 billion NPV, roughly talking round numbers here. $1.5 billion of CapEx. Not too big. I know it's a big number, but in the context of a big copper project, it's actually not much. 100,000 tons of copper production and generally good economic returns. Now, when the PFS comes out, of course, the PFS has more credibility, but there will be a big uplift in value from various improvements that we are bringing in. So straightforward layout, open pit, 2 processing trains, waste dump, tailings dam, and a small heap leach. I said that, milling and flotation. And then quickly on water and power, being in Namibia, it's an ideal situation again. So we have grid power close by, we need to upgrade it. We also have water from the Orange River, which is always flows. It does have some seasonality, so it's a pumping system together with 1 year of water storage on site. It's our base case, and we are developing some other water options on top of that. In terms of timing, so PFS at the end of this year, permitting should be concluded, say, middle of next year, and then straight into FEED, DFS, project financing, and ultimately, of course, evaluating what other strategic options we might have in terms of outright sale, JV, or self-built. Responsible mining is very much core business. So we have strong social license to operate. People in Namibia know us and they like us, and we plan to keep it that way. Very low valuation, which I think is a key part of the story, and coming to the end. So maybe the highlights, we've got an accomplished leadership team that's done this before, that's got deep roots in Namibia, that's had success before, both finding, developing, advancing, and exiting. We got a really good asset that can only get better. World-class jurisdiction with Namibia, very strong financial backing, still lots of growth through this right-sizing, optimizing that we're doing. Big catalysts with the PFS coming up, and low equity valuation, meaning your downside is protected. That's it.